the SCO summit taking place here. He arrived in Tianjin yesterday evening to a warm reception by the host government and subsequently a very vibrant cultural reception by the Indian community in Tianjin. Prime Minister's first engagement this morning was a bilateral meeting with President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China. We've released a statement on that meeting. You would be aware of the details. Let me just fill you in on a couple of aspects of the meeting. As you're aware, this is the second meeting between the two leaders in the space of less than a year. Their last meeting was in Kazan in October last year, where they had laid down certain strategic guidelines for the development of bilateral relations and set out certain goals to be achieved by the two sides. In their meeting this morning, both the leaders were happy to note the progress that had been registered, the actions that had been taken since the meeting in Kazan, and the momentum that had been maintained in bilateral relations since that meeting, especially in the domain of people-to-people relations. This morning, the leaders shared with each other their perspectives for longer-term growth and development of the two countries. They spoke about their respective understanding of principles for bilateral relations, which it is expected will help guide the future work of the two sides as we work on other aspects of the relationship. For instance, they both agreed that the two countries were primarily focused on their domestic development goals, and in this they were partners rather than rivals. It was also an element of consensus between them that a stable and amicable relationship between India and China can be to the benefit of the 2.8 billion people who live in the two countries. The common interests of the two countries outweigh their differences, and the two leaders also shared a consensus on the fact that differences should not be allowed to be turned into disputes. It was also understood that it is critical that India and China grow and cooperate if there is to be an Asian century and a functioning multipolar world order with a multipolar Asia at its heart. President Xi made four suggestions to further upgrade bilateral relations, namely to strengthen strategic communication and deepen mutual trust, to expand exchanges and cooperation to achieve mutual benefit and win-win results, to accommodate each other's concerns, and finally to strengthen multilateral cooperation to safeguard common interests. And all of these were responded to positively by Prime Minister Modi. The boundary issue also figured in the discussions. Both leaders took note of the successful disengagement last year and the maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border regions since then. In voicing certain principles related to this issue, the Prime Minister underlined the need for peace and tranquility on the border areas for continued and smooth development of bilateral relations. And there was understanding on the need to maintain peace on the borders using the existing mechanisms and avoid disturbances to the overall relationship going forward. At this point, I want to highlight or draw your attention to the outcomes of the 24th round of talks between the special representatives of India and China on the boundary question, which was held in New Delhi less than 2 weeks ago. In their meeting today, both the leaders positively appraised these outcomes and decisions from that round of talks. They encouraged the efforts of the SRs and agreed to accelerate the implementation of the outcomes and the understandings that have been reached between the SRs. They also expressed a commitment to a fair, reasonable and mutually acceptable resolution of the boundary question, proceeding from the political perspective of their overall bilateral relations and in the long-term interests of the two peoples. Amongst other issues, the two leaders also exchanged views on ways to increase and balance bilateral trade, strengthen people-to-people ties, cooperate on trans-border rivers, and jointly fight terrorism. There was a desire to make additional progress on all of these issues on the basis of mutual respect, mutual interests, and mutual sensitivity. In particular, on economic and trade relations, there was recognition of the role that the Indian and the Chinese economies can play in stabilizing world trade. Both leaders underlined the need once again to proceed from a political and strategic direction to reduce their bilateral trade deficit, facilitate bilateral trade and investment ties in both directions, and increase policy transparency and predictability. There was also a discussion on regional and global issues and challenges, including with regard to multilateral platforms. Prime Minister expressed support for China's ongoing presidency of the SCO and the summit in Tianjin. He also invited President Xi to the BRICS summit that India will be hosting in 2026. President Xi thanked Prime Minister for the invitation and offered China's full support to India's BRICS presidency. In addition, following this meeting, Prime Minister had a separate meeting with His Excellency Mr. Tai Chi, who's a member of the Standing Committee of the Politburo of the Communist Party of China. As you are probably aware, Mr. Tai also holds several important positions in the party. There was originally a proposal from the Chinese side for Mr. Tai to host a banquet for the Prime Minister on behalf of President Xi Jinping. This was meant as a special gesture to show the importance attached by China to the visit of the Prime Minister, which was taking place after a hiatus of nearly 7 years. However, as there was a scheduling conflict, it was decided to have a brief meeting between Prime Minister and Mr. Tai. During the meeting, the Prime Minister shared his overall vision for the India-China relationship with Mr. Tai and sought his involvement and his role to realize the consensus of the two leaders. Mr. Tai, for his part, reiterated the Chinese side's desire to expand bilateral exchanges in various fields to address our respective concerns in economic areas and to further improve relations in line with the consensus that had been reached between the Prime Minister and the President in their meeting earlier in the morning. Slightly earlier this evening, the Prime Minister also had a bilateral meeting with Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, Chairman of the State Security and Peace Commission of Myanmar. The two leaders recalled their earlier meeting on the sidelines of the BIMSTEC summit in Thailand earlier this year and reviewed their current state of bilateral ties. Prime Minister noted that India attaches great importance to its relations with Myanmar, under its Neighborhood First and Act East policies. He underlined the importance of the development partnership between the two countries and sought Senior General Min Aung Hlaing's support for the ongoing connectivity projects between India and Myanmar. There was also a discussion on the security and border issues. Prime Minister welcomed the announcement of elections in Myanmar and stated that dialogue was the only way forward to foster peace and stability in Myanmar. A short while ago in the evening, Prime Minister attended the official reception of the 25th SCO summit hosted by President Xi Jinping for the visiting leaders. Tomorrow, Prime Minister will be addressing the plenary session of the summit, where he will outline India's approach to fostering regional cooperation under the SCO umbrella. After this engagement, he is scheduled to have a bilateral meeting with President Vladimir Putin of Russia, following which he will depart for India.